Hello and welcome.
Hi, I'm Riet.
And I'm Johannes. Welcome to update 29. The end is nigh.
That's true, the end of our alpha update circle is
exactly.
almost over. It's already alpha update 29. And should I already say it or should I say at the end?
I don't know what you mean, there's so much to say today.
Alpha 30 will be our last alpha. So after alpha 30 there will be the release version 1.0 and then we'll continue from there on. But alpha 30 will be the last update that will be named alpha.
I can already promise you that the next update video is gonna be something very special. We won't want to spoil you yet, but just to build up a little bit of pressure also for us, it's gonna be amazing and the best update video we've ever done. Anyway, today is about this update video, and it's about the version we have delivered as we are talking. And it's really big. It's like we looked at the change list earlier, and it's the largest change list we've ever seen, in any game.
Yes, must be true. So I would say we go through the changes one by one. Some are really big, some are more like bug fix type of stuff, but in general I think it's time to just talk about them.
But we're gonna skip a couple of them, right? Not all of them one by one. Otherwise we're gonna sit here for 2 hours.
Okay, we'll try to make it interesting.
Okay, how you wanna start?
I would say let's start with the first update, which is the notification system.
Ah, yes.
You've been wanting to do this for quite some time.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's been on my to-do feedback systems list for like ages. Meanwhile, we could have done without it, but in some occasions it was really noticeable that we needed something. For example, when you were losing an item through whatever reason in an event or on other occasions. But also when there were status changes, we still had this particle effect in the center of the screen, or the text saying like plus 20 stamina or like whatever. But it was just not really nice. So
yeah, now it's really it's informative and it's also nice looking. I think it adds like some juiciness to the game, and gives you data that was sometimes easy to miss before. I mean, it's not like it's adding new information, all the information was already there, but sometimes, you got a new status you didn't notice maybe because it's just a small icon on the side, so that's much more noticeable. So I think the game will be much more readable now, actually.
yeah, like in pure game design terminology, it was really bad because sometimes good stuff happened and the player was rewarded, but you wouldn't notice because it was so hidden in the systems that you didn't feel rewarded as you should have been. So yeah, it's just now adding a lot to the game in terms of readability, feedback, and it just feels really good. And as Riyad said, it's one of those systems which feels juicy, which is the term to describe like stuff which makes the game just feel good. And yeah, you can never have enough of these systems, and if they fulfill other roles, then even better.
Cool, so that's one of the major features of this update. Another update that you were also heavily involved in is the Slaver iteration.
Oh yeah, this was a long time coming. So the Slaver event was probably one of our oldest features, or the one which remained untouched for the longest period of time. For multiple reasons. One of them was also that it's quite a sensible topic to have this event and this location and this kind of interaction in the game. But yeah, I mean, the feedback was always kind of positive, but people wanted to have more options interacting with them. Mostly they wanted the ability to attack the slaver and fight. And in general, it was just not really nicely implemented. So we gave it a really big overhaul, together with a new image and the ability to attack the slaver, and with lots of repercussions coming with this. For example, a new item which can be used as a weapon in combat. It's gonna be the whip, which you only get when you fight and successfully kill the slaver. And other things coming out of that. We don't want to spoil it too much for you, but yeah, rest assured that your interactions with the slaver now, it will be much more meaningful. And one more thing also, in the general thing, that when you visiting the slaver beforehand meant that you were losing standing to the local natives. This is now also much more meaningful and granularly implemented. So depending on the type of interaction you're doing with the slaver, you will lose standing, but not like just per se by visiting the slaver, and you will also be able to regain standing in the aftermath of interacting with him. So it's much more interesting now. Make sure to visit them when you see them on the map.
Okay, what next? Explorer Edition. So, as you might know, we also sell several special editions of the game. If you buy the game through our own website and click on the Special Editions banner, there are multiple editions of the game, like the Fan Edition and the Explorer Edition, for example. And the Explorer Edition makes us put an Explorer modeled after you into the game. So you can play as yourself in the Curious Expedition. So yeah, and this has been like forever on our to-do list, and we've finally gotten around to it. So if you bought an Explorer Edition, you haven't gotten to all the Explorers yet, like all the people that bought the Explorers Edition, but we've put a couple of them in the game. And
the people that most of the people that have replied, like we contacted you if you bought the version via email and asked you to fill out a form, and most of the people that did this now have their custom Explorer in the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a custom Explorer, just hop on our website and make sure to buy that edition. And especially do it now, because
because we're gonna do something really stupid, which is we're gonna increase the price for that, which is mostly due to the fact that it's okay-ish for me to do that, but it takes some time and effort. That's why we're asking for money also for it, and it's kind of distracting me from my everyday work. So I want to keep it a lower level now. So we are gonna increase the price. Right now I think it's around 85 euro, and it's gonna be very likely raising to something around 100 euro for the version. So just we get less of these to do. I mean, we appreciate the money we get from that, and I have to say it's also one of the most fun moments for me as a developer. To be doing those custom explorers, because it's a very personal relationship I'm getting to you as a customer when I'm doing these. Like, you send me your image, how you want to be represented in the game, you send me the name and your description maybe, or what kind of perks or a profession you want to have. So it's a lot of fun, but it's also something which is additional work for us, which can distract us from our other tasks. That's why we're gonna increase the price, I would say latest by release, maybe even already on the update after this one. But yeah, you at least have 2 more weeks to buy it on the current price.
Yes, and that's, I mean, you could say that's also a little bit of a thank you to our early supporters that already bought it, that got it at a cheaper price than people coming in later.
To the specifics, do we want to talk a little bit more about like how it's working?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have bought it, we will send you an email describing the specifics in detail.
We don't have to explain it super detailed, but the gist is that these custom characters are in the regular game. So they are not special builds of the game with just a specific explorer, but they are in the regular game that you're playing, and there's a way to a secret code that we'll send out to every person that bought one of these Explorer editions for him or her to unlock their special character. So that means if you are having fun with your custom Explorer, feel free to share your secret code with your friends so that they can also play with your custom Explorer.
So, and where do we enter the code? Do we say that?
No. You have to figure
But
out.
how do we tell them to play with us? Like, we have obviously also added us into the game.
Oh, true.
So somewhere in the main menu, or you have to go somewhere and enter a code, right? And
Yes.
for example, if somebody would have the code, I don't know, could be anything like 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. You enter that, then the character would be unlocked, and you can select it from when you are starting the game.
Right. And that character can also appear as a rival to you. I mean, unless you, of course, choose to play with that character. But if you play with a Tesla, for example, but you already unlocked your custom character yourself, you get to play as Tesla against yourself, which is pretty funny, I think.
Yeah, try to not develop a schizophrenia, please.
Yeah, so that's one of the features that was kind of dear to our heart, and we're happy to finally have it in the game. Yeah, and if we haven't gotten around to your custom Explorer yet, we'll do so as fast as possible. We want to have all the Explorers done latest by 1.0.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how much there will be added now with our, we're going to raise the
Yes,
price.
of course, yeah.
Like 1,000 more, but...
At least the ones that ordered so far.
Yes.
Cool. So we have the notification system, the Slaver, and the Explorer edition, but that's not all yet. So another thing we looked into is the high score system. So there, as you probably have noticed, there's a Hall of Fame where you can see your best runs so far. There was the problem that the points that you gained on easy and the ones on normal and on hard were all on the same scale. So if you did a 1,000-point run on easy, that would go over a hard mode run where you gained 999 points, for example. So now your final points are actually scaled by a difficulty modifier depending on your difficulty setting. So on higher difficulty you'll get more final game points for your high score. So those should now make more sense. And also we made sure that they're always displayed at the end of your game run. So before from the game over screen you would have to go into the stats to actually see them and so on. Now it's straightforward, always explained or shown when you die or actually beat the game. The last thing you'll see is always kind of like your final high score.
It's also true in real life.
So then we have the Beastmaster update.
Yes, Beastmaster. So yeah, pretty much Beastmaster so far you could only hire hyenas. Now we've extended this. When you meet the Beastmaster, he will in general offer you to hire a hyena or tiger or a gorilla. In some rare occasions I heard rumors that there are different types of beasts sometimes offered, but I'm not sure if they are true or not.
Cool. Then we have a bunch of tuning changes. So these are the main features. So we have tuning changes. I don't know if we need to go through all of them. So traders now have more items. The world generation tome, instead of like completely regenerating the region that you're in, which was kind of maybe a cool idea or not, but it definitely was very random. So now they are more useful. They will now restore the land to its original terrain. So you can completely screw up the region, then trigger one of these tomes, and it will rebuild as in its original form.
Does the void trick still work with it then?
It should. It's a good question.
Because there was a nice little side effect of the old thing is that you could actually stop the void. If you had those one of these tome pages, it would refresh the area, and the area would forget that the void was started, which was pretty cool. So we don't know if it's still working. Find out and update the wiki accordingly, please.
Also, there was this bug or tuning, depending on how you look at it, that even if you had multiple homesick natives with you, they only at most one would stay behind. So now multiple may stay behind. So that if you were using kind of the exploit of just recruiting multiple of them, so at least one of them would stay, I'm sorry, because that's not possible anymore. What else? We updated some events to be more consistent with the rest of events and how their mechanics work. The stone circuits, there were multiple stone circle types in the game, and they had different surroundings, but nobody got that. It was really hard to read. Even I myself, when I was playing, I constantly forgot about it. So the stone circle now works slightly different. When you go there, instead of having a random effect, you can select from 2 random effects. So there's like some strategic decision now for you to make in regards of what information is more interesting to you in that moment. You also reworked the alcoholic system too, right?
Oh yeah, that's funny. So the state now is that when you have an alcoholic in the group, that status effect will constantly lower the loyalty of that character. And if the loyalty drops to a certain degree, it's very likely that that character will run away or betray you. However, when you drink alcohol, specifically whiskey as an item, this will drastically increase the loyalty per drinked alcohol of alcoholic persons in your group. So it's kind of like a drawback now. This drawback of alcoholics is now much stronger. But if you have alcohol with you, you can really have very loyal track members. But make sure to don't run out of alcohol. Also, in real life, alcohol is very bad.
Also, another big change is that you can now rest at ships. So you can not just travel home, but you can also just sleep there if you want. And you can refill your water, even in non-desert worlds.
Yeah, that was a big request from the community, continuously asked for. And yeah, we finally got around to do that.
Okay, there are a bunch of also other tuning changes. If you want to know the exact list, just check the list at curiousexpedition.com/updates or follow the link below this video, I would say. Example is the night camp screen. There's an animated campfire now.
Oh yes, how could I forget that? Like we've been having this animation sitting in a folder for such a long time since we did it initially for the Steam release trailer. I made like the pixel animation of my life. I'm not a good pixel art animator. In fact, I've not done this before that much, but I did this fireplace effect and it looked so good. I really liked it. So yeah, we decided. I mean, basically we said we're not gonna have animations in the game, like pixel animations, but for this screen it somehow made sense because it's coming so often, it's repeating itself, it's always this night scene, independent on where you are resting. And yeah, now the fire is animated and the ground flickers a little bit. I hope it's not breaking too much with the other segments of the game, which are now maybe even more static than before perceived. But yeah, we like it a lot, and we hope you're gonna like it as well. So let's see. But yeah, I'm certainly very happy that we made it into the game.
One notable bug fix I want to mention is that the performance in Portal worlds was kind of bad, especially in bigger Portal worlds. So I completely re-implemented the rendering path for these voids or the endlessness, and they look slightly changed, but they look almost as before, but they are much cheaper to render now.
Portal worlds, like the worlds you go in when you're going through a portal, right?
Yes.
Okay, just to make
The ones where you have like this Starfield backdrop. If you had performance issues on those, I'm pretty sure you will not have them anymore.
Yes.
Okay, and then we have like, I don't know, 30 bug fixes or so. Thank you so much for pointing out problems that you found in the game. I think the game should, this version, be much more stable and playable. I think it was already playable before, but now it's even more playable. So
super playable.
So, for example, secret sites were not restored correctly from save games. On hard mode, that was a bigger one. When you arrived at the pyramid, natives would leave you, or people would be upset with you because you didn't fulfill the quest of this expedition. Now they will properly only react angry when you're actually back at the ship and you're about to leave the land, not anymore in the middle of the expedition. Let me see if we have something else. Yeah, there's a ton of bug fixes there. Make sure to check the list. Yeah, and that's it for the updates for this alpha. So the next alpha will be, which date did we say?
5th? July. It's gonna be next month in July. I think it's
yes, the
3
5th.
weeks. The 5th.
True. Alpha 30. The last alpha will be on July the 5th. And yeah, that will be, again, to reiterate, that will be the last alpha before the 1.0 release. For the 1.0 release, we will focus on more bug fixes, final tuning changes for the full game. And but Alpha 30 will be basically the last feature edition update for now.
For now.
For now. Not forever, but for now, because, you know...
We still have plans for the game, for this year, at least for this year. But for now, we want to wrap it up. We want to reach 1.0, and that's gonna happen around after update 30.
We want to have like a really super stable, definitive version, finely tuned and so on for the 1.0. And after that, we just go crazy again. And
we break it up.
And break the balance again by adding crazy features.
Or you do that maybe.
Maybe a hint at something to come for 1.0? Who knows? Okay, so that's the Curious Expedition.
Yes, very curious indeed. And then we have some other big news which were
happy news.
Kind of like spoiled a little bit, or spilled early by Medienbord Berlin-Brandenburg, which is gonna fund, just as they did with the Curious Expedition, our next upcoming game.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, so we finally know what we'll be working on next, and that game will be titled The Curious Case.
Clever. Did you see what we're doing there?
And it's set in the Roaring 20s of Berlin, and it will be a procedural crime mystery game where you are some kind of police detective solving crimes.
We don't know that much about it yet.
That's all we can say for now.
As with the expedition, we found a topic and fantasy and about the game, which kind of like makes our fantasy and creative ideas flow. But like in terms of gameplay and whatever, we honestly we don't know it really. We know it's gonna be even more procedural than the expedition, and the focus is gonna even be more probably on some kind of storytelling element. But besides that, stay tuned with us. We're gonna first, as Riyad said initially, we wanna finish properly the expedition before we go into this next game. but we are already very, very excited about it. And if you are too, or you would like to get the latest news on it, make sure to visit our the website curious-case.com and sign up for our newsletter in case you haven't done it yet.
Yes. Yes, but back to Curious Expedition, because that's our focus right now. And yeah, enjoy the Alpha 29 that we just put out. We'll go directly back into the office and start working on Alpha 30.
That's right. Right after we checked for ticks, we're gonna do that. And yeah, keep in mind, if you have the Explorer Edition, or you are one of the few people who got it for free because you are a YouTuber who covered us a lot, or any other dear friend, you are more than welcome to spread your pin officially so other people can play with it. But if you don't want that, just keep it a secret for yourself, so nobody can play with it until people hack the game or so. Please don't do that.
Cool. All right, that's all from
Yeah.
us.
Have fun with the new version. Thanks so much for sticking with us for all the development time and this long update video.
Yes, over 1 year on Steam already.
Yes.
Crazy. Cool. All right, then enjoy the game, enjoy the update.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.